guys, we're live on the street in downtown Palafox in Pensacola. We met Jordan. Jordan, man, thanks for doing this. All we're asking is one simple question. You know, my mission is to change as many minds as possible about the car buying experience. And the one question I'm going to ask you, Jordan, is what did you hate, absolutely hate about the last car buying experience you had?
I would say the pressure
What is the
of
one thing you hated the most about buying that last car?
Just about how long it took. I was there all day long.
Randy, what is the one thing you hated the most, either about your last buying experience or any time buying a car at a dealership?
After trading in about 50 cars, the trade-in is the worst part.
What did you hate the most about your last car buying experience or any car buying experience?
Okay, I think it would have to be maybe sometimes the pressure to make a decision quickly
Right.
gets me a little nervous. I also get nervous doing the test drive because getting my driver's license was traumatizing.
I love it. Car Guy Jake here, changing as many minds as possible about the car buying experience. What do you hate about it? Drop it in the comments below. Let me know. What is the one thing you hate the most about buying a car? That's right, guys. Car Guy Jake at the downtown Pensacola Park asking random strangers, what is that one thing they hate the most? All right, guys, here with Lainey and Ben, we're actually in the park, which is amazing. Now, I was asking them if they wanted a free coffee, which they got their gift card and their stickers. Now, Lainey, you've bought a car before, and I asked you before we started filming, what is the one thing you hated the most about buying that last car?
Just about how long it took. I was there all day long.
All day. Awesome. Now, what do you think the sales professional could have done to help minimize that time? Or you think you have any idea?
I really don't. I don't know. I feel like they never told me why it took so long.
Exactly. They treat you like a mushroom. They keep you in the dark and feed you crap, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So listen, I eliminate that by being completely transparent. I actually have a 1-hour guarantee. So if you know somebody, you trust somebody, you don't have to go in there and be like, hey, what are you doing this way? What are you doing that way? But like you've got a guy that does your plumbing, you got a guy that does your yard. I'm your car guy, right? So I explain every step of the way, and I work out a lot of the details even before you arrive at the dealership. That's what a lot of people miss out on, because if you go to the dealership, you know, you've got to figure out all the who, the what, the where, the why, you know, all that stuff. And they overcomplicate the buying process. You can simplify the buying process by 3 things. What do you want? What do you need? And what is your budget? If you narrow it down to those 3 and back it up, you go backwards, because your budget's going to drive what you need. Because if you can't afford it, why even look at it?
Right.
True.
Or if you've already got a certain, you could afford whatever you want, but you've got a allocated budget you're going to spend, you don't want to go over that. So thank you guys so much.
Yes,
And
no problem.
remember the 1-hour guarantee. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Right on. All right, guys, we're back at it on Palafox. Car Guy Jake asking what people hate. Now, I was going to ask that same exact question from this young man. What was your name again? Randy. Randy, what is the one thing you hated the most, either about your last buying experience or any time buying a car at a dealership?
After trading in about 50 cars, the trade-in is the worst part. You're getting screwed.
All right, the trade in because you're getting screwed.
Yep.
Awesome, man. So listen, guys, that's why I'm asking these questions. I'm gathering all the data. I do things completely opposite. So if you could I ask you one more?
One more.
All right, one more, because I told him one question, guys. So what's the biggest feeling? Because everything's perception, right? What you perceive is reality.
That's right.
It's my reality as I perceive it. So you perceive you're getting screwed every time. Why is that? Why is that perception? Or is someone not giving you all the information, or you've done some research?
I was actually buying a Ferrari. I know it sounds arrogant, about 6 months ago. And I have a Range Rover. They said, we'll give you $5,000 for the Range Rover. I'm like, you can at least make me feel better and give me 20 and charge me 20 more for the used Ferrari. But they didn't even make an attempt. So that was insulting. They just make me perceive that I'm not being screwed.
Right, right. So, and this is what I love to do is talk to the people individually when it comes to the trade-in value, being open and transparent. You know, there's Kelly Blue Book. Everybody knows Kelly Blue Book, but then there's also NADA, JD Power, Black Book, and all these MMR different values, right? It's so crazy because each one of those could be thousands of dollars difference.
Right.
You know, but if I show you all of those and I say, hey, look, man, this is what the actual trade-in value is looking like, but we're going to give you above that. You know, would you feel better about it?
Or as a tax savings, right? If you give me more
It's a tax.
value for this trade-in, right?
Oh man,
They just didn't want to take it, so that was insulting.
man, I love that because a lot of people don't even know about the tax savings. Whatever you get from your trade-in, you don't have to pay taxes on the new vehicle. I love it. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate your time. Have a great day.
I like the hat.
All right on, right on. All right, guys, back on the street. We're at the Rusted Arrow Mercantile with Sam. Now, Sam was gracious enough to answer one question, that one main question that we always ask about the car business. And Sam, what did you hate the most about your last car buying experience or any car buying experience?
Okay, I think it would have to be maybe sometimes the pressure to make a decision quickly
Right.
gets me a little nervous. I also get nervous doing the test drive because getting my driver's license was traumatizing.
I love it. I love it. So, guys, listen, you know, common theme, the last person said pressure. I use a zero pressure sales tactic. I'm like the real news. I report, you decide, you know. So, again, guys, anything that you don't like about the car business, drop it in the comments. I'm going to do my best to explain about it and show you guys what we do to overcome that. Sam, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can I ask you another question? I know I said just one.
Sure.
All right, so listen, I do a feature business of the month, and I'd like to feature your business. Is that okay?
That would be wonderful. Thank you
Awesome, let's
for the-
go. We're gonna roll this, guys. So look out, the Rusted Arrow is coming as the featured business of the month. All right, guys, we're live on the street in downtown Palafox in Pensacola. We met Jordan. Jordan, man, thanks for doing this. All we're asking is one simple question. You know, my mission is to change as many minds as possible about the car buying experience. And the one question I'm going to ask you, Jordan, is what did you hate, absolutely hate about the last car buying experience you had?
I would say the pressure of like the constant like almost like nagging. We last car we bought ultimately ended up a good experience, but it kind of took us a couple of dealerships and a couple different people to get that final good experience. But it just seems like I don't know. Honestly, I've had a negative
Man, I hear you.
of car salesmen because I feel like they're all
Yeah.
kind of like professional like cons, but
Right.
there's some genuine, people out there just trying to make an honest living, and I can respect that.
Man, I completely understand. And like I said, you know, I was 44 years old before I sold my first car. And my biggest thing is I didn't want to be that sleazy car salesman. You know, you hear about, you see movies about, you know, I wanted to genuinely buy into the relationship. And I've got people, I used to work at Harley in service and parts. I was never in like sales. But man, I sell cars from relationships I built back years ago with them 10 years ago. So, man, I completely feel what you're saying. And it's funny because I tell people I use a zero pressure sales tactic, you know,
Right.
and that usually works, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. Jordan, man, thank you so much for stopping, taking the time to do this. And I'm on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. If you like this content, like, subscribe, and share with your friends.
Hey, actually, I met a guy who sold cars, and he said he's never sold a car before. He just sells himself. So
Exactly.
I get that.
Yeah, exactly, man. The biggest thing I've found is the first 3 steps are the most important. It's, you know, be different than most every other car salesman, you know, by meeting and greeting, and then build absolute rapport by actually genuinely caring about the customer and then making that customer a family. Man, it's funny. I've changed tires on the side of the road. I've helped people when they got in accidents. They call me, man. And to me, that's one of the most humbling things. And then actually your boys with you, whenever people send me their kids to take care of,
Right.
that's really the biggest compliment,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. Oh, for sure. Thank you for your service, by the way.
Oh man, appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for this. You guys have a great day. Enjoy.